What President Biden's son's conviction means Hunter Biden's father, Joe Biden, would suffer a severe personal setback as a result of his conviction for falsifying information about his drug use on a firearm license application. The President of the United States also serves as the head of a close-knit family that has had its fair share of pain and personal tragedy. His kid, who is still alive, has now been found guilty of 3 federal offenses that might result in a long jail sentence. However, it's doubtful that Hunter's decision will affect how Americans cast their ballots in November. Not his name, but his father's will be on the ballot. There isn't any proof linking the president to his son's transgressions. Furthermore, there is no evidence from polls that the public is paying close attention to this trial. The president made a statement following the ruling that alluded to the 2 responsibilities requiring his focus. He declared, "I am the president, but I am also a father." He went on to say that he was proud of the guy his son had become, and that he would always support him. While Joe Biden handled his official duties and ran for re-election, his son's legal drama dogged him for weeks. Joe Biden had stated at the beginning of the trial that he would not comment on the proceedings. Hunter's punishment, which has not yet been decided, might cause the president as much disruption as possible as he gets ready for a crucial presidential debate later this month. As any father would, First Lady Jill Biden's press secretary for the first 2 years of the Biden administration, Michael LaRosa, adds, "This will of course be a personal distraction for the president. It's not a distraction from his duties as president, but I'm sure it will take an emotional toll on the family." President Biden stated last week, when attending D-Day observances in France, that he would not think of using his power to pardon his son. He also said that, in contrast to Donald Trump, who rejected his own conviction as being rigged and corrupt, he will respect the jury's decision. The former president reacted very differently to the Hunter Biden verdict as well. Trump claimed in a statement issued by the campaign that the trial was nothing more than a distraction from the more serious crimes he claimed the Biden family had done. Many other Republicans agreed with same sentiment. The South Carolina Congresswoman Nancy Mace described the decision as just the veil of fairness. Others pointed out that the trial only happened because a federal judge turned down what they described as a sweetheart agreement that the prosecution had offered last year. From the beginning to the end, Republican politicians aligned themselves with the former President Trump, denouncing the trial as a partisan fight. Hunter's conviction seemed different. It was the end of a difficult time for the Biden family, who had experienced more than their fair share of turbulence. The period when Hunter Biden's brother Beau passed away from brain cancer coincided with his descent into heroin addiction. During the trial, Hunter's struggles with addiction and the impact they had on his family connections were painfully detailed through a combination of his own memoir excerpts, his emails and text messages, pictures, and testimonies from people who knew him well. Throughout the trial, Hunter Biden's loved ones, including First Lady Jill Biden and his spouse Melissa Cohen Biden, sat behind him, observed, and occasionally gave him hugs or held his hand. Ashley, his half-sister, started crying during the defense lawyer's closing remarks. In his post-verdict statement, Mr. Biden said, "Jill and I will always be there for Hunter and the rest of our family with our love and support. It will never be altered by anything." Joe Biden said in his earlier statement, "Our family has been through a lot together, and Jill and I are going to continue to be there for Hunter and our family with our love and support." In his closing remarks, the prosecutor described the evidence as ugly and personal. Additionally, he claimed that it was overwhelming, and that proof was needed to demonstrate that Hunter Biden intentionally lied on his federal background check application for a weapon when he verified that he did not use narcotics. At the end, the jury was unanimous. The president's son, the only kid alive from his first wife, who died in a car accident 50 years ago together with his young daughter, could spend years in prison as a result of this guilty decision. Hunter Biden is currently awaiting sentencing for his conviction. Nevertheless, his legal troubles won't end when the judge determines his sentence. In September, he will stand trial for allegedly omitting to pay $1 million in federal income taxes. Less than 2 months before the election, that trial may not have the same intensity of feeling as the one in Delaware, but it could be more detrimental to the president's electoral standing. Republicans who oppose Mr. Biden have been closely monitoring Hunter's international business activities and his financial connections to the president. The effects of drug addiction have impacted the lives of many Americans. On the other hand, claims of tax fraud and financial wrongdoing can make voters less sympathetic.